A disability is something that has a major impact on your life.
Every disability is different.
And it's never the same thing for two people. I am blind in my right eye totally and partially sighted in my left eye.
I was 18 years old. We were traveling way too fast on a gravel road. Broke my neck, my back.
My Asperger's syndrome and my cerebral palsy.
I have anxiety and depression. People would have no idea just talking to me.
Being independent means different things to different people.
I want to live in my own house. I want to pay my own bills.
Live independently and not rely on other people.
When someone is not able to live as independently as they can, it does have a detrimental effect on people's physical and mental well-being.
It's no complicated thing. It's just that people with disabilities want to be included.
Plenty of people get stuck in ruts when they feel like they can't overcome something in their life. That's where Lift comes in.
Living independently for today and tomorrow. Lift. We help people of all ages and all types of disabilities find the resources or acquire the skills to live as independently as possible.
We serve the southeastern 18 counties here at the Billings office. We have a variety of things that we offer. We can help with grant funding for adaptive equipment.
Maybe a home modification so they're able to access their home. We help people to find that funding.
Helping people apply for Social Security benefits.
Medicaid, Medicare, housing.
They have a peer support group. Peer support, I think, is key.
Sharing life experiences is one of the most powerful things to help people who might be new to disability, who might be struggling with their disability.
Youth transitions is kids that are transitioning out of high school. They need to learn those adulting skills. It might be rent an apartment, learn how to grocery shop, budgeting.
Help someone advocate for themselves in a school or an employment setting. One of our biggest strengths is providing folks with information and referral. If we can't help you, we hope to know who can.
A lot of times we'll have a potential consumer call in and they think that they just have one need, and it turns out that we end up finding 3 or 4 things we can actually do for them.
You can just come in and say, hey, I feel like I have this going on. Can you help me? And we can, which is so cool to me. I love that.
Most of us on staff at Lift have identified ourselves as having one or more disabilities. That is helpful in many cases.
It's easier to empathize with someone when you yourself have struggled with a disability.
This is what we specialize in. This is who we are, and this is what we do.
And it costs nothing to go to Lift. It's a nonprofit organization and they're there to help.
Somebody that was a consumer that was working with Lift was asked to do an art project. He visualized that the balloon helps to lift people up. And then it became the logo, and it's stuck.
There's been success on all kinds of levels.
It's really rewarding to have a consumer go, hey, I was able to do this by myself today.
We want people to live their best life as independent as possible.
Live as everyone else in society and live as a part of society, not apart from society.
Everybody needs help. Sometimes you just need a little more help, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay.
There's plenty of life to live still, and there's a way you can do it. Keep chipping away at it, little by little by little.
Knowledge is power. Let's share it, for crying out loud.
Send us an email, give us a call. We'll do our best to help.
We can definitely help figure out what your needs are and get started on that. We're one of many steps in the path to independence, and we're happy to be serving people here in the community.
Good day and welcome to Living Well in Montana. Living Well in Montana is a project of living independently for today and tomorrow, or LIFT, L-I-F-T-T as we like to call ourselves. LIFT is a nonprofit providing advocacy and resources for persons with disabilities of all ages and all types of disabilities across our 18-county service area in southeastern and south central Montana. For more information about LIFT, I encourage you to visit our website, lift.org, or download our app for your Apple or Android device by searching LIFTT in your App Store. My name is Jed Barton, and it is my privilege to be a public relations specialist at LIFT. And our topic today is supportive communities and how important it is to build such communities as persons with disabilities and among each other and among our allies. And my guest today is perhaps uniquely qualified to speak to that. Her name is Morgan McQuillan, and Morgan is the founder of a nonprofit here in our region called Project Footprints. Welcome, Morgan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just to start off, Project Footprints is really built out of your life story from what I've been able to ascertain.
Yeah.
So why don't you go ahead and let folks know a little bit of that story.
Yeah, so I'm Morgan McQuillan. I'm from Joliet, Montana. Born and raised there, been there my whole life minus some college. Moving out of town for that. At age 5, I was diagnosed with osteosarcoma, so bone cancer. I went to Mayo Clinic, did about a year of chemotherapy. I had my first amputation, which was about partial of my leg, and so I had a prosthetic. And I was good. I was good for a little while. And then a couple years later, when I was about 12 years old, so I guess more than a couple years later, I relapsed. The cancer came back. And after that, it kept coming back time after time until 2020. In about January 2020, they found another mass, a tumor, very aggressive. And I had to go back to Mayo Clinic, and the only option at that point was to do a radical, very way out there amputation, which is what I have today. And so now I am in a wheelchair or crutches. I can't have a prosthetic just because of the way the amputation is. But through all of this, community has played such a huge role. They have been so supportive in my hometown in Joliet, the surrounding areas, people from all over Montana and just even outside Montana. So I think that's really what has kind of stuck with me over the years is just community. And they are just so huge. And I'm just really lucky to be from where I'm from. And I think there's a lot of places similar. So, yeah.
Right. So you, like you said, you lived in Joliet all your life, grew up, graduated from Joliet High School. And you said you went off to college. Where did you go to college?
So I went to MSU in Bozeman for a year, and then I realized I was not going to be good at nursing, mainly because I'm not good at chemistry and math. So I really wanted to help people, so I moved down to MSUB here in Billings and switched over to human services, very similar to social work.
Okay, so and do you work as a social worker currently?
So right now I am finishing up my graduate program to be a clinical social worker, so that'll be my master's degree. And then I'm also currently serving as the Joliet director for the director for the Joliet Public Library.
Awesome.
And I love it there. It's pretty awesome. So.
Yeah. That's great. Libraries are awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Project Footprints and what that is and how that came about.
Yeah. So Project Footprints developed about 7 years ago, and it was just brought about from community. They rallied around me after one of my relapses, and we decided we wanted to start a foundation it's something I've always wanted to do ever since I was little, a foundation to help people, just wherever, however they need it. So it finally came to life about 7 years ago, and Project Footprints became, the title of it is what it became. So project is never ending, right? That it's never ending. There's always projects. There's always going to be people to help. And then Footprints, that part of the name came from the Footprints on the Sand story, just kind of transitioning over to like modern day society of us being able to take people, help them through their hard times. So the mission of Project Footprints is to just help those. So we serve Carbon County and surrounding areas, and we just want to serve the individuals or families who've been impacted by emergency situations, crisis, help them financially with resource management, just getting them connected and just providing them support as best as we can.
It's great. About how many folks do you serve currently? Or?
So in the past, we were calculating about how many people we have served altogether, and I think we're right below the 100 mark, and that's been in the past 7 years.
Well, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Is there much in the way of, do you do a lot of fundraising, obviously? Or?
We have one big fundraiser every year, and it is the Project Footprints Walk. And so we do it, usually it's about mid or early October, and we do it so that people can come join it. We have a big walk where you do like a 2.5 mile loop. We have a smaller walk, and then we have it where you can just come hang out. And so essentially people just come, we have breakfast, they go for their walk, or they hang out, drink coffee, come back, and we just, hang out.
This is up in
Joliet.
Joliet.
Yeah.
I never know whether it's up or down. But
Yeah, right?
So that's neat. And the Carbon County community is one that is, like many places in Montana, growing somewhat and changing somewhat with newcomers. So it's great that you're there doing that. So that's pretty amazing that you've wanted to do this pretty much your entire life.
Yeah.
That you've been dealing with
The cancer,
the cancer your entire life, and you've seen how others. And have you been able to connect with others who maybe have the same diagnosis as you, and even now that you're part of the amputee and wheelchair user community, have you been able to find connections within those communities?
Yeah, so ever since I've been kind of younger, going to Mayo Clinic, we stayed at the Ronald McDonald House, so that was a great way to, kind of...
And that's the Mayo Clinic in Rochester?
Yeah, sorry, Rochester, Minnesota,
okay.
So the original one. And so we connected, you would connect with a lot of your fellow people living in the Ronald McDonald House. And then just kind of as I've gone through my experiences, you just connect with people, people that have had cancer in general, like you get it, like you get the chemo, you get the surgeries, you get that kind of sense of despair at times, you just get it. And same with caregivers. And I think that's what kind of brings people together is, people get it. And that's one thing, like cancer doesn't discriminate. People are affected by it every day, obviously. And it's a lot of people that are affected in general. So, but yeah, I've always wanted to give back. I've always wanted to connect with people that need support, whether it's cancer or something else. But I think Project Footprints were able to make a dent in it at least.
Oh, that's good. Do you have any particular stories of people you've helped that obviously within the bounds of confidentiality?
Yeah, no. I gotta think of some. We have many. So whether it's like with Project Footprints, we've helped people all the way from fires who've had their houses destroyed, helping them with kind of bounce back from that, to a couple years ago, Carbon County was hit by a flood, similar to Yellowstone Park up by there. So we were hit pretty good. So we had a lot of families and individuals we were helping there. Just everyday things where, a person falls ill or a child falls ill and they have to go to another children's hospital, whatever it may be. And so not only are we looking at like the things that are big costs, right? But those little things that actually add up, so the gas back and forth to the hospital, the food, you still have to pay your bills. You might be taking time off work to help your loved one. And so different things like that add up. So that's kind of where we try and step in, and it's kind of some of those hidden costs that really do affect people. But yeah, so those are just a couple of the things we've helped with. Some like everyday things all the way up to some of those bigger things, right? Yeah.
Okay. You said you're finishing up some graduate work in clinical social work. How is it, again, we talk often in, organizations like LIFT were founded by and for people with disabilities, and we often talk about the sort of the disconnect between the academic and the lived experience, and do you think you're able to help bridge that for your, not only in your own work, but perhaps for your classmates and your professors? Or
So I think there's one particular like instance or class that relates. I think of right off the top of my head. I had a grief class, and we really talked about the first thing that comes to mind is obviously death and dying, but just a lot of that grief of what was. So whether, like for me, it was being able to walk. I can't walk anymore, right? So kind of grieving what was, and being able to have those conversations with my classmates and with my professor. It was really cool to share some of my insight, and also hear their insight. And then just kind of, like you said, that academic world, and then the world of, what we kind of live on a day-to-day basis. I think just kind of, sharing our stories is huge, and just kind of being open to hearing other people's stories. I think that's been my experience, has been trying to bridge that gap, but doing it in a way where I'm meeting people where they're at, and I'm trying to hear what they have to say as well and answer questions.
Meeting people where they're at is
that's huge.
A phrase we use a lot at LIFT. That. So, in terms of, your own personal independence, you're able to obviously complete your studies, and you have a professional career started. What are some things that that you didn't necessarily think you'd be able to do that you found that you're able to do, and maybe vice versa?
Yeah, so driving's one. It's a huge one for me. I mean, living in rural Montana, there's not necessarily a bus or a train or subway you can hop on.
Right.
So I was really grateful to be able to meet up with people that were able to do a converter, meet with the DMV, get my license authorized there, just different things like that. So now I can drive with my left foot and just kind of have it set up that way.
So do you use hand controls, or
I use a foot converter.
Okay.
Instead of driving with my right, I drive with my left. Obviously.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Right?
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, no.
I don't drive at all.
No,
so,
you're good.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I'm able to, I have quite the system of getting my stuff unloaded. I have crutches, and I crutch to the back of my trunk, lift my wheelchair out, put my crutches in, and wheel around wherever we need to go, and vice versa. So that's one example.
And you make a very good point about living in, not just, people will consider living anywhere in Montana rural, but living outside of Billings or one of the, to use the sports level, AA communities, and being able to live and thrive in Joliet. Where transportation and housing and other things are that, we go to or have national meetings or even state meetings, and the issues are similar but different, and so we find, when we're talking to folks from bigger cities and bigger states, that the issues are similar but different, and how do we translate that? And and it sounds like you've found a way, and again, it helps, no doubt, that this is the community you grew up in and your
Yeah,
family is still around
Yep.
there. So how would people who are interested in Project Footprints learn more?
Yeah, so Project Footprints, we have our website. We have Facebook is a really good option for us too, and it's just Project Footprints MT. And then on Facebook, you can search it or Project Footprints, either one will pop it up. And then you can also do the same for like online on the webpage. Just type in Project Footprints MT, and that'll take you to our site with our bios, different things like that. But Project Footprints has a really good appearance on Facebook in the sense that we post when our fundraiser is, just different things like that on a more updated basis. We also have our email, and then it's projectfootprintsmt@gmail.com, and then yeah, I think it's Gmail. Might have to double check that. And then our phone number is also on our Project Footprints website, so people can give us a call, they can text, reach out that way. Otherwise, they can watch for our big fundraiser in the fall, and yeah, come join us then.
Okay. Well, it has been very great to have you with us today, and learn more about Project Footprints and about your experience. And again, LIFT, I don't know how LIFT and you became connected.
Yeah. Small world.
Yeah, it's a small world. We again, Carbon County
Yep.
is one of the counties we serve, and as a matter of fact, I believe I have some colleagues doing a vaccination clinic in Boyd
Oh,
today.
very cool. Oh boy.
So yeah,
Very cool.
so it's kind of interesting. But thank you for joining us today, and again, this has been Living Well in Montana. The guest has been Morgan McQuillan, the founder of a nonprofit organization called Project Footprints. Again, look for it on the internet. And again, my name is Jed Barton, and I am a public relations specialist with Living Independently for Today and Tomorrow. And you can find out more about LIFT at lift.org, or you can search us on Facebook and Instagram, and find our mobile app in the Apple and Google Play app stores. Thank you and good day.